Hello, welcome to ShareBit Uganda. I am P.6, your guide, and in our self-study lesson today, we shall look at speeches. There are many occasions in which we need to describe an event or action that happened, and very often that includes repeating what someone said. Such occasions can include a social situation or a presentation. In order to describe what people say, there are two different ways or different types of speech: direct speech and indirect speech. Direct speech. When we want to describe what someone said, one option is to use direct speech. We use direct speech when we simply repeat what someone says, putting the phrase between speech marks or quotation marks. Like in the following example, it is very common to see direct speech used in books, newspapers, or magazines. As you can see, with direct speech, it is common to use the verb say or say. But you can also find other verbs used to indicate direct speech, such as ask, reply, and shout. Like in the following example, when Mr. Diaz opened the door, I asked, "Have you seen Lee?" However, when we want to report what someone said without speech marks or quotation marks and without necessarily using exactly the same words, we can use indirect speech, also called reported speech. Like in the example, you can pause the video and take a quick review of the examples. When we report what someone says in the present simple, as in the above sentence, we normally don't change the tense, we simply change the subject. However, when we report things in the past, we usually change the tense by moving it one step back. For example, in all other tenses, all other tenses follow a similar change in indirect speech. And in the next slide, we shall see some examples and how they change according to the tenses, to other forms of the tenses of the tense. The same rule of moving the tenses one step back also applies to modal verbs, like in these examples. As an alternative to using say, we can also use tell or told in the past. In reported speech, but in this case, you need to add the object pronoun. For example, in the following examples, you can see sometimes it's necessary to change the time expressions when you report speech, especially when you are speaking about the past and the time reference no longer applies. Like in the following examples, reporting questions. When you report a question, you need to change the interrogative form into an affirmative sentence, putting the verb tense one step back, as with normal reported speech. There are two types of questions that we can report: questions that have a yes or no response, and questions that begin with a question word like what, where, who, etc. When we report a yes or no question, we use if. For example, as you can see, in the reported version of the question, do is eliminated because it is no longer a question. and the verb live becomes live. For questions starting with question words like what, where, when, who, etc., we report the question using the question word but change the interrogative form to the affirmative form. For example, when we report a question, we normally use the verb ask. As with the verb to tell, the verb to ask is normally followed by an object pronoun, though it is possible to omit it. When you give someone an order, you use the imperative form, which means using just the verb without a subject, like in the examples on the screen. However, to report an order, we use tell and the infinitive of the verb. For example, when you make a request, you normally use words like can, could, or will. For example, but however, to report a request, we use the verb to ask and the infinitive form of the verb, as in the next examples. Well, now you've seen how we use direct and indirect speech. Practice using them yourself. An excellent and easy way to see how they are used is by reading a short story in English or news articles online, because stories and articles contain many examples of reported speech. Thank you for watching. God bless you.